I wish I could change my thing, but oh well. I try to hit him with the moon. Yeah, you gotta be ready for it. Nice. Look at that damage. Woo! It should be easier to avoid the grab and the explosion, so I can stay further away. I think I can be more ready for it. Oh my god, my damage. I was worried about my damage. If I hit him in the head, I do, like, absolutely stupid damage. Dude's already dead. Holy crap. Magic just too strong. I thought for sure he'd at least have some resistance to that. Maybe he does, and I just do that much damage. It doesn't even matter. Because normally, Comet really outdamages Rocksling. But there, Rocksling was only slightly worse. So I think he did have some resistance to Night Comet, but it doesn't matter. This build just does so much damage. Oh, I didn't even have my freaking Scar... Oh my god, dude. I didn't even have...
Wizard, Harry.
I didn't even have Sword Seal on. I forgot to re-equip it. That is just sad. Oh, the wrong way. Well, forget everything I said. Ronnie Quest easy. Still epic though. Freaking love this area. I nerfed myself and still 3-shot the boss. Yeah, that boss fight in general, like, first time I did it, I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. There are several bosses in this game that have that effect. The Final Mansion boss, this boss, the Dragon Lord boss. That one, really, I was like, oh my god, this has got to be the coolest boss in the whole series. At least, like, thematically. I didn't realize that if you have the ring, that barrier never even appears. I'm pretty sure if you beat that boss without the ring, the barrier appears, and then you go get the ring, and then you actually have to walk up and, like, talk with the barrier. But apparently, if you already have the ring, the barrier just never spawns, which is kind of cool. Kind of a cool detail. Alright, we made it. The end of Ronnie Quest is right there.
Issues with your application?
What in the god name? Again?
Issues with your application? New
Again with this? This is the second time that's happened. That's the second time that's happened. I'm never going to the Elden Ring wiki again. Cancerous website. Holy cow. Are you having problems with your application? Alright, here we go. Final boss. Also, this is a glintstone dragon. I forgot about that. So actually, this is the boss I should be worried about. Having protection. Ow! And yeah, he does. That comet don't do much. I bet your rock sling will. I don't die first. I'd love to hit him with meteorite, but that's probably too risky. Screw it, I'm going for it. Boom, 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 boom! Cool, 3,000 damage. Uh-oh. I just knock him over? Oh my. Oh, what's he doing? Easy. I mean, that should have been a difficult boss with this build. But, you know, every dragon in the game is the same, so I know how to dodge everything. And yeah, Rock Sling stuns so quickly. I remember that time we needed Starlight Shards? Only we could have come here. There's like 20 Starlight Shards in here. Alright, here we go. Might as well flip over to Trophy Quest. What's the... It's the... Make the volume the same. This is it. This is the end. The end of Ronnie Quest, and the end of our Platinum. And the end of our bonus objective, but not the end of the Harry Potter. We have one more thing to do for Harry Potter, and that's Haligtree. But this will complete our first bonus objective, and it will complete the plat. Harry Potter in the very deep hole. Yes. Perfect timing. I am going to pause alerts now, though, because I have not seen this cutscene yet. I've seen this one. Not the ending one. Goofy hat kind of ruins the cutscene.
So it was thee who would become my lord. Perhaps I needn't have warned thee. I am pleased, however. Thou art a fitting choice. I go now to the night sky. It is there I shall find mine order. I bid thee travel the path of the Lord, and once all is done, we shall see each other once more.
So there you go. So we did that. But then on my first playthrough, I could not activate the ending because I had already activated another ending, the regular ending. But if you remember, we did not activate the ending. So now, we can go activate the ending. Hopefully this is right, because if not, yeah, because we summoned Ronnie here. Here we go. Could have changed that. It wouldn't be right. I mean, she has a hat too. We fit.
The battle is over, I see.
Was half of her hair always, like, spiritual? Or is that just now? I should have equipped the actual Ronnie set for the cutscene, where I get the same hat. Must be nice having all those hands to pick stuff up.
I do solemnly swear to every living being and every living soul. Now cometh the age of the stars. 1,000-year voyage under the wisdom of the moon. Here beginneth the chill night that encompasses all, reaching the great beyond. Into fear, doubt, and loneliness, as the path stretcheth into darkness. Well then, shall we? My fair consort eternal.
There it is. And platinum. Boom. We did it. Yeah, I don't actually know all the lore behind that ending, or why it's different than the regular ending. I'll have to learn. He can't decide which hand, the end. Like, I don't know what the 1,000 years of moon means, like, if it's basically like the same as the regular ending, but instead of me being Elden Lord, there's like no Elden Lord now, and she just reigns for 1,000 years. Like, I don't really know. I feel like there's more to it than that. And I don't remember when she was originally, like, when she had the assassins and she was trying to take over stuff. I don't remember if that she had like the same plot in mind. So I know she had a plot before. I don't know, I'll have to look it up. I want to learn more about the endings. I mean, I know, like, the other endings are pretty simple. And then the main ending is just you become Elden Lord. And then there's the... there's the ending where the Golden Order, or whatever it was called, ending. Which was pretty similar. And then there's the cursed ending. And then the other special ending is the two-finger ending, where you basically watch the world burn. Which is so she said like it was the Age of Darkness. So that almost sounded like a bad ending. But that would be weird because the other one was a bad ending. I mean, this is a Souls type game, so half the time all the endings are bad, but it's just weird that, like, because that one was straight up like watch the world burn. This one seems like it's different. Anyways, that is that. We are going to not start Journey 2 because we have more to do. But before we do that, we're going to jump over to the Trophy Quest screen. And throw this into our Trophy Quest. Alright, so our 142nd Platinum Trophy, Elden Ring. This is donated by Lifestream. Thank you, Lifestream. And we did do everything on stream. Now let's talk difficulty. This list is very interesting because it's a Souls game. So it's easy to say, oh, it's a hard platinum. But having said that, this is by far the easiest platinum in the Souls series. Any of the games. And I would argue that Elden Ring is the easiest game in the series as well, just to complete. Now, that comes with a caveat of there is difficult stuff to do in Elden Ring, but just to complete the game is, I think, the easiest in the series. There's just a lot of different methods you can go about beating the game. There's so much to explore that by the time you explore everything, you're like mega super powerful. There's like, you never have to grind in this game because there's so much to explore that you just go explore new areas and then you come back and you're super strong. So yeah, like overall the game was easier. Now I will say what throws this into kind of a weird spot is, well, let's talk about the trophies first. So the reason that this is the easiest list by far is all you have to do is 2 extra endings, which are not difficult. By the way, I didn't look at this trophy. Looks pretty cool. The rest of the trophies are just for killing bosses. And there's a couple, like... maybe not, actually. Oh, yeah. The legendary stuff. So you have to get the legendary... all the legendary Ashen Remains, sorceries, incantations, and talismans. But that basically just means explore. It's nothing like the other games. Oh, and the armaments. It's nothing like the other games where, like, you had to do these crazy side quests and activate certain, what do they call them in Dark Souls? The groups that you had to join. You had to go all out of your way and do crazy stuff to get all of the spells and all of the weapons, which was a common trophy for those games. Also, if I'm not mistaken, every other Souls game requires you to play New Game Plus. And in some cases, even New Game Plus Plus. Dark Souls 2 comes to mind. You have to do New Game Plus Plus to get a certain ring. Demon Souls, I remember I had to do New Game Plus Plus, but I think it was possible to do just New Game Plus if you did everything perfect. This game, No New Game Plus. You can do everything on one playthrough very easily. The 3 endings, technically you need to do separate playthroughs, but you can save scum and get these. But if we're not including save scumming, you don't have to do New Game Plus. You can just play through the game again normally and get these endings. You don't have to do the extra New Game Plus. So there's that. And yeah, just overall, like, you just do not have to do nearly the same amount of stuff. Really, this is just explore the game, which takes a long time because it's ginormous, but it's really just explore the game. Now, the one outlier is, of course, this. But as you'll see there, the rarity is only 34%, even though this is the hardest boss in the game. And there's all sorts of videos online of people raging to this boss, and people are calling it the hardest boss of the entire series, which I wouldn't necessarily argue. I think the Ancient Dragon in Dark Souls 2 was stupid if you didn't know how to fight it. And the super boss in, I think, 3 was also like a jerk, but even if we're like in agreement that this is the hardest boss of the whole series, you can see that it's not that rare, 34%. And I think the reason for this is because if you do everything else in the game, which you're required to do the platinum, you get so incredibly strong that you can just blast Melania with several different strats. Specifically, the Blood Sword just absolutely annihilates her if you're at a high level. So, yes, this is like the hardest boss in the series if you fight her fairly, but there's many ways to fight her unfairly. So I think that's why the percentage is so high. And then, of course, yeah, multiplayer as well. So, yeah, overall, I cannot give this a high difficulty rating. It's a long platinum. There are difficult things about it, but there's always a way around that difficulty, either multiplayer or just playing more of the game because it's so huge. You know, I think it by far is the easiest of the series. And in terms of the endings, this one is not too bad to get. This one would be pretty hard without a guide. It's really convoluted, but usually I include guides in my difficulty rating because most people look at guides. It'd be kind of silly not to for some of this stuff. So anyways, that all leads me to the rating, which I think, let's see what I gave the other Souls games. Demon Souls I gave an 8. Dark Souls 2 I gave an 8. Dark Souls 2 Scholar I gave a 7.5. And Bloodborne I gave an 8. I think my mind honestly is going to 6, which sounds kind of like, wow, really? But there's just so many ways to get around the difficulty, and the fact that Melania has a 34% win rate, I think a 6 is fair, honestly. I'm going to go 6. Now, fun factor. I think I'm going to be rating this very, very high because it's such a great, like, do everything in the game and not have to do anything else stupid. They could have easily made this trophy really boring and monotonous, and they chose not to, and I give them big props for that. They make you get all the legendary stuff, which is all the cool stuff. The only annoying one is the spear because it's missable. But that's the only missable trophy, is that spear, which is pretty nuts. Other than, like, the endings, technically. But, like, the only thing you can just walk by and not get and then have to do a whole nother playthrough to get is that spear in the capital. They could have had you do all the endings, because there's, 7 endings? And they're all different. But they chose to only do 2 and the normal one because the other ones are pretty lame. Like they're very simple. So they chose to not make those trophies, which is awesome that they did that. They make you do the stuff that's interesting, and that's it. They make you kill all the interesting bosses, but not every boss. They could have done a trophy that was like beat every boss, and that would have sucked. But instead, they just choose the interesting ones. And they don't make you do New Game Plus, which might sound kind of lame to some Souls fans because they're like, oh, that's where the game gets good, is on New Game Plus. But with Elden Ring, the game is so long and so big that you do not need New Game Plus. If you like it, great, but you don't need it to say it's complete. You can play the game without New Game Plus and be perfectly content. So I'm glad they didn't include that. So yeah, they were just very smart with this trophy list. And there's no, like, super crazy fun, like, outlier challenge trophy, like a speedrun trophy or a beat a boss with a certain weapon. So that's, like, maybe why I'm not going to give it a 10. But for what it is, they made it as fun as they possibly could, and they made it not monotonous, and I give them big props for that. So I'm going to give it an 8.5. The only thing stopping it from being higher is just the fact that there's no, like, extra challenge. Once you do everything, you get the plat. There's no extra bonus challenge specific to the trophies, like beat Melania without using buffs, or beat the final boss with a spear, like, you know, just random stuff they could have included to kind of make you play the game a bit differently. I don't think a speedrun trophy would really be good for Elden Ring, but just saying, like, that's another option. But I think for Elden Ring, that would have been kind of lame, because people like to explore, not run through the game. But, yeah, something like extra would have been cool, but still, really, really great trophy list, and there were so many opportunities for them to screw it up, and they didn't. So, mad props. It did not glitch, and the final time is going to be weird, because we could have gotten this platinum trophy like 20 hours ago, and we chose not to. So let me save the game and go back to the menu, and then we can just add up the two save files. So 132 plus 28, about 160, but then add another 40 minutes. So like 160, 53. Close enough. So 160 hours. What'd I say? 53 minutes? So here's the deal, though. There's a big comment here. So this trophy could have been done on our first save file way faster. How long was the Harry Potter challenge? 28 hours? So it could have been done about 30 hours quicker. Chose to do a challenge run for the final trophy. Can also be done even faster with save scumming. So if we had save scummed the 2 extra endings, it would have been probably under 100 hours, even without rushing it. But yeah, I believe that is now, should be up there with the longest trophies. Did it update my thing? Didn't update yet. I'm gonna have to check to make sure that it's in the right spot to get updated. But it'll be next to or above Digimon World. Yep. It should have auto-updated. I'm not sure why it didn't. I'll have to check the data sheet and see why it didn't update. Oh, wait. No, that should be right. That should work. I'll check it later. But yeah. There it is. There is the Elden Ring Platinum. Our 142nd plat.